Right now, for decades, the historic Yatta Canal has served as a lifeline for communities in the lower eastern part of the country. Its water sustaining farms and nourishing lives in a region often hit by unpredictable weather patterns. But years of pollution, siltation, and neglect slowly silence the impact of the critical waterway, affecting the community's ability to withstand climate shocks. However, through community-led rehabilitation efforts, the canal is once again breathing life to locals along the pathway in Machakos County. Our reporter, John Kahiro, traversed the narrow waterway and shares the impact of the gem, whose impact is gradually lifting households from the crisis of climate vulnerability to climate resilience.
It is narrow, but the impact is felt by thousands. Since its inception, the historic 58-kilometer Yatta waterway has been a heartbeat for hundreds of households in the lower eastern part of Kenya. Initially serving as a major water source for domestic, livestock and irrigation use for over 70,000 residents. But in 2014, the lifeline that snakes from Thika River to the deep suburbs of Machakos County began to fade, choked in silt, dust and neglect.
Tulikuwa tukiopea kupata na outbreak ya kolera wakati hakukuwa na maji. Always Matu Hospital, Matu Town, watu wa Matu hawakuwa wanapata maji. Kwa hivyo tulikuwa na shida mingi sana.
Downstream in areas such as Matu, Kethemani and Dalani, taps ran dry, farms withered, and the hope for the communities faded in silence.
Maji yote ile matakataka inatoka kwa kijako juu, inakuja tilika na kuja inaingia kwa mtalo. Sasa ikawa hii maji hata ikifunguliwa badala ya kupro huko chini inarudi tena huko kwa mto, maana imejaa matope.
Na kukuwa na watu wanilima kwa shamba kwa sababu kukuwa na maji, hata ya kunywa ilikuwa balaa, hata kuoga ilikuwa shida.
For farmers like Jeff Mwaura, the ripple effect was more than devastating.
Tulikuwa tunamwagia a 20 liters can tunagawia kwa pipe mbili. But that is not efficient. Kwa sababu the agriculture officer would say I want a full bucket. Sasa nayo full bucket atatoa wapi? So that is the loss, and also not only the loss in monetary terms but the loss in the production. Kwa sababu hiyo kitu ulikuwa unaweka hiyo maji, production nayo itakuwa low, utaleta loss the second time.
With no water to sustain his vast pawpaw farm, seasons turned against him, a situation that was further exacerbated by the recent biting drought in the region.
Hiyo wakati ilikuwa na shida sana, manake tulikuwa tunaendea maji na gari mpaka huko karibu na Sofia. Hapo ndipo tulikuwa tunapata maji na ilikuwa inatukarimu, manake dakika mwisho tuliona tutumie bausa ya kufanya nini maji. Let me say by then it was so tiresome and expensive to manage.
However, the story is gradually changing. Following extensive rehabilitation and desilting of the canal, courtesy of financing locally led climate action initiative in Machakos County government, water is now flowing again, which has renewed hope for the community.
The FLOCA has financed this rehabilitation to the tune of 45 million Kenya shillings. And the funding basically went into desilting. It is a 58-kilometer canal. And before the desilting, the water was not getting to the last point of this canal.
Once silenced by silt, the canal is now speaking resilience in a region known for vulnerability to climate shocks.
Nasaidika na hii mtaro sana. Kuna jambo ambalo tumefanyiwa mzuri kutolewa ile uchafu ilikuwa ndani. Maji ilikuwa inaishia kilomita kama 10 haikuwa inafika huku. Sasa tunasaidika iko na maji. Tunaanza ukulima, tunaongeza kazi. Hata ikiwa inaendelea chakula itakuwa.
But now that they have access to water, that can now be very important in building their resilience. They can now do farming, they can get water for domestic and even for livestock. So that is a very good way of building the resilience of the local people.
But beyond scaling up water to more than 150,000 beneficiaries, the revamping of the furrow has also provided employment to youth and women who once scrambled and conflicted over scarcity of the crucial resource.
Na watu wengi hapa wako na off-takes. Wanaweka maji hata wanaweka showers kwa manyumba zao. Kwa hivyo hii ni faida kubwa sana. Tena watu wa pande ya juu pia wanapampu maji, wanaweka kwa matangi zao, wanaweka kwa mashowers kwa manyumba. Tuko salamini.
Hii mtaro tulikuwa tumepewa kazi ya hii mtaro. Na ilikuwa na uchafu mingi sana, matope, na kulikuwa na pita ya vijana, hakukuwa na maji. Na vile tulifungua hii mtaro, tukatoa hiyo matope, tulipata kazi. Sasa tumepanda mahindi, kila kitu sasa tumepanda.
The new phase of the Yata Canal now speaks volumes to the urgent need for mobilizing resources to finance community-led climate action in a bid to boost climate resilience in adaptation efforts.
The population of our farmers is about 75,000 people, and we have 639 off-takes. But for the domestic users, Matu town and these environs, we have approximately of 92,000 people who use the water.
The rehabilitation of this 58-kilometer Yatta Canal is slowly breathing life to communities along its path, providing a sustainable source of water both for domestic use and farming, and to a greater extent boosting their climate resilience. John Kahiro for Channel 1 News, Kethimani, Machakos County.